Wale Fatoki and Mr. Ayodiji Wright, both joining me today to commemorate the listing of Transport Services Limited 12 billion naira 10-year Series 1 Senior Guaranteed Infrastructure Bond under its 50 billion naira debt issuance program. The formal listing of the bond took place on Friday 26th, February 2021, on the floor of the exchange. On behalf of the National Council and Management of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, I congratulate the board and management of Transport Services Limited for a successful offering. TSL's capital raise represents the first 10-year infrastructure bond issuance by any company in the transportation and logistics sector. Despite the prevailing macroeconomic challenges, TSL was able to raise debt capital to repay existing obligations, support working capital, and fund the expansion of the company's fleet. Consequently, this positions TSL to take full advantage of business opportunities in line with its growth strategy. It is worthy of note that this bond issue was oversubscribed by over 73%, with investments from 18 institutional investors, an indication of the level of investor confidence in the company's reputation, brand, and corporate performance. We also recognize the parties to this laudable transaction with a critical role played by InfraCredit as the guarantor to the bond, supporting the AAA long-term credit rating issued by Augusto & Co. and Datapol Limited. We also commend the financial advisors, Stanbic IBTC Capital and ARM Securities, for their hard work and dedicated efforts towards the actualization of the highly successful offering. At the exchange, we remain committed to providing issuers with a platform that allows them to meet their strategic business objectives, and it's our delight to see companies take full advantage of the NSE's products and services. Last year, total capital raised stood at over 4 trillion naira across our various asset classes. Furthermore, the resilience of our market was commended globally as the NSE All Share Index, ASI, emerged as the best performing index of the 93 global equity indices tracked by Bloomberg to post a one-year return of over 50%. The NSE has positioned itself as a multi-asset class exchange and is committed to helping issuers derive great value from their interaction with the market. We encourage TSL to explore the plethora of opportunities available to our issuers in order to take full advantage of opportunities to enhance corporate profile, visibility, promoting sustainability, and accessing deep pools of capital. This will place TSL a step closer to fulfilling its continental drive to provide bespoke supply chain and logistics solutions to corporates and governments across the African continent. The NSE, through various initiatives, continues to develop new ways to support our issuers. On capacity building through the NSE Academy, we partnered with credible institutions such as the Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, Institute of Directors Center of Corporate Governance, and the Center for International Private Enterprise in the area of corporate governance training. On corporate social responsibility, the NSE is implementing a 3-year Nigeria 2 Equal program in collaboration with the International Finance Corporation aimed at promoting gender diversity and empowering women. I therefore use this opportunity to invite TSL and encourage all our viewers to partner with the exchange across the various themes of capital formation, capacity building, sustainability, and many others. Once again, we commend Transport Services Limited on a successful offering. We also commend the guarantor, InfraCredit, the issuing houses, Stanbic IBTC Capital, ARM Securities, and all other professional parties to this transaction for ensuring a successful issuance. I now invite the chairman, Mr. Wale Fatoki, to make a few remarks, which will be followed by remarks from the CEO, Mr. Ayodiji Wright, and the professional parties to this transaction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon once again, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Lumide Bolumole. I guess words can express how delighted and excited we are as a business to be here today. It's been an eventful and interesting 20-year journey. to which my partner and the managing director of TSL will speak to. In this 20-year journey, we could write a whole chapter on 2020 in itself, with the unknowns and the challenges. But I guess today is not a day for long speeches about the complexities and the challenges of 2020, but more so to recognize and appreciate the resilience of the Nigerian capital market, as well as the support and confidence reposed in us, an organically grown indigenous entity. For this successful listing on the stock exchange. For this, I'll also like to thank specifically on behalf of the board of directors, the management, and the staff, the following. The guarantor, InfoCredit, we appreciate what you've done. The issuing houses, Stanbic IBTC Capital Limited and ARM Securities Limited. The TSL bondholders, transaction partners, auditors, E&Y, and reporting accountants, Deloitte. We also like to thank rating agencies Augusto and Co, as well as Data Pro, bond trustees, FBN Quest trustees, registrars, Meristem Securities Limited, stockbrokers, ARM Securities, our solicitors, the new practice, as well as Koyakuti, and more importantly, and of course, the Nigerian Stock Exchange, FMDQ, Securities Exchange, Securities and Exchange Commission, and the Corporate Affairs Commission. We thank you very much all, and we are assuring you that we won't disappoint the confidence you reposed in this company. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fataki. May I now invite Mr. Wright to make his own remarks?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Mr. Lumide Bolumole. All protocols were duly observed and standing on them. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, and my bosom brother, Wale, brother of 37 years. Thank you so much. As he said, he has thanked everyone. First and foremost, this afternoon, we're delighted that we're having this and that the Nigerian Stock Exchange have invited us to celebrate this event. We would first and foremost want to thank God for a 20-year journey. For without God and His mercy and His grace, we wouldn't be here. And we give Him all the glory, to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, because we know this is one of the many announcements that TSL will have this year, and we're indeed grateful. TSL was started about roughly almost 20 years ago by three gentlemen, myself, Wale inclusive, with about 5 trucks to start with, and we then moved from 5 to about 15 trucks that same year. Today, we're riding very, very close to about 1,000 trucks on the Nigerian roads, and warehouses and other businesses within the business. We conceptualized this bond idea with our bosom partner, InfoCredit, some few years ago. And we started the journey, never minding COVID, and I give it to the InfoCredit team and all the transaction parties that COVID or no COVID, we matched on. Not that we didn't have our own challenges with COVID, but all parties decided to match on, and here we are today. Like Mr. Bolumole also said, despite the COVID challenges, we were 73% oversubscribed. So going back to our history, for people that don't know us, we're typically a logistics and distribution company operating within the Nigerian space. We're an indigenous company, and we've grown organically for the last 15 years. Typically, we will haul for a lot of the major multinationals and strong local corporates within our space. Our customers include companies like Total Nigeria PLC, PZ Cousins PLC, Nigerian Breweries PLC, Guinness Nigerian PLC, Lafarge Africa PLC, and a host of other companies that are not also listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. One of the things that we pride ourselves on in TSL is to be the safest on our roads. And safety we don't joke with, because our business, we do understand, affect stakeholders on a daily basis. Once we go on the road, we affect every stakeholder. So safety, it's our core point. It's one of the things we would say has gotten us thus far. And it's one of the major milestones of our company and achievements. Everywhere we've worked, we've always won awards on safety. We've won awards on driver training. And we do have over 1,200 staff in transport services alone. And though TSL is a group of group of companies with independent companies within the group, and transport services alone run about 1,200 staff. One of the reasons why we decided to do the bond was we wanted to test our metal on the market, and we wanted to see what we could do, and InfraCredit came on board. And I believe first and foremost, there are a lot of achievements where, like Olumide mentioned, we are the first company within our space to get a 10-year bond. And even if you look at Nigeria, you can count how many companies that have been able to get a 10-year bond. Not only that, one of the few companies in Nigeria, and first in our space, to get an irrevocable and unconditional guarantee, and to be able to partner with InfraCredit. They are our partners that we are really proud of, and we know that we will continue to deepen our jointly deepen our footprints in the Nigerian stock market. As you very well know, our bond program is a 50 billion bond program, and we've only tapped in 12 billion of that in our first series of our bond. So we still have about 38 billion naira to go, and we intend to fully draw on that as opportunity arises. One of the few things we look to do within the next few years is, one, come back to the bond market. Two, look at the possibility of listing. If the opportunity to play in the equity market is there, we would definitely look at it, because we believe that we do have the we do meet the conditions, and we'll be able to do it when the time comes. Another thing we plan to do is to take advantage of the African Free Continental Trade Area and the agreement. Definitely, we are definitely strongly going to push to be the safest and the most profitable logistics and distribution company within the West African space. That is where we're spending a lot of our time going forward, and we expect to come to the market again to tell them about our West African story. And our goal is simple: to be the safest and the most profitable in the West African space. And then we start going down the West African space into the Sub-Saharan Africa. So African expansion is definitely what we are hungry for, and we would definitely go for. We are also going to deepen our footprint in the Nigerian warehousing space, both in the dry freight goods and in the temperature controlled. So in the shortest of times, you are going to see us moving into the temperature controlled area and gaining a footprint. Right now, we're very strong in the Nigerian oil and gas downstream space. We're also strong in the midstream. We move a lot of petroleum products like diesel, jet fuel. We move a lot of jet fuel in the Nigerian aviation space. We move a lot of compressed natural gas, CNG. We also moved a lot of CNG. So there's only one more gas to move, which is LNG, in which we are working on the liquefied gas with natural gas, which is what we're also working on. So we'll continue to deepen our space in the downstream and the midstream of the Nigerian oil and gas market. We will continue to strengthen ourselves in the agro space. We are right now very strong coming up in the agro space, and we'll continue to deepen that through our on-demand play. And lastly, we will continue to grow very strongly in the dry freight goods, which is FMCG, breweries, beverages, et al. So that is talking about TSL 20 years in a nutshell. Thank you all for listening. And one more time, I would like to say thank you, a very big thank you to all the executive leadership team of Transport Services Limited, all the staff of Transport Services Limited. They have been superlative this past 19 years. I would say a big thank you to my brother, my partner, and my chairman, Wale Fatoki. I would also want to use this opportunity to say a big thank you to our spouses, Toyosi and Lande. The last 19 years, you guys have been backing us up and we're grateful. Chinua-led InfraCredit, I say thank you to you guys again. Stanbic, ARM, you guys were in the trenches, TMP, Koyakuti, all the guys, thank you very much. Olumide, Larry Odufua, Toby of NSC, thank you very much, everybody. TSL staff, thank you very much again. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Wright, for your wonderful remarks. And I note your comments about deepening your relationship with the exchange through a listing. We certainly will be here and ready for you whenever that decision is made. May I now invite the CEO of InfraCredit, Mr. Chinua Azubike, to make his own remarks.
Thank you, Olumide. Good afternoon, everyone. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. We're excited and pleased to have come this far with TSL. I think firstly, I'd like to thank the management of the Nigerian Stock Exchange for this listing opportunity. Importantly, is also to acknowledge the effort of all the transaction team members, Stanbic, ARM, legal counsel, and all the professional parties, and also most importantly the team at InfraCredit for the hard work being done. I think this for us, sets an inflection point in terms of diversity of our support for infrastructure. Transportation is one area that requires significant investment. TSL has demonstrated that you can produce locally developed, indigenously run institutions that can attain on a standalone basis investment grade rating. We believe that over time, as TSL continues to strengthen its space and its diversity and growth, we expect to see more issuances and a greater impact in terms of job creation and local economic growth. We're certainly pleased of the development impact this transaction will have in the local economy. But going forward, we're actually more excited about the opportunity that TSL now has to expand its investor base. So not just on the debt side, but as the CEO mentioned, Deji, they also look at equity at some point in time. We believe that the Nigerian Stock Exchange actually provides a good platform to diversify their capital structure and scale. And we're very pleased to have been part of this journey from beginning, and we'll continue to support both from the sidelines and as partner. So we're pleased to be here. Thank you, everyone. I'd also like to before I close, to congratulate the CEO and the chairman, Mr. Deji Wright and Wale Fatoki, for very, very tedious work they've done in building, a solid institution. And we believe this is a testament, again, like I said, to how we can promote local entities, local entrepreneurs, with local capital to scale, not even beyond, our country, as it were. But there's still a lot of work to be done in Nigeria, and we look forward to working with TSL towards that growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zubike, for your remarks. May I now invite the head of debt capital markets, Islamic IBCC Capital, Mr. Tokunbo Turan, to make his own remarks.
Thank you, Olumide Bolumale. Good afternoon, everyone. Chairman of the Board of Transport Services Limited, the CEO of Transport Services Limited, Chinua, CEO of InfraCredit, all other protocols, duly observed, and good afternoon. I believe a lot has been said about the critical and essential role that Transport Services Limited, the sponsors of the issuer, plays in the Nigerian economy. So please permit me to delve straight into the transaction highlights. Following the initiation of the regulatory engagement process, we proceeded to engage the investor community in a roadshow exercise consisting of a series of one-on-one meetings and select group sessions. This exercise was designed to showcase the business, its people, and performance to the Nigerian institutional investor community. The roadshow exercise was then followed by the formal launch of the offer in August of 2020. The offer in itself was via the customary book-build auction method for bond issuances in Nigeria. And the outcome of that offer is why we all celebrate today. TSL SPV PLC's debut 12 billion, 10%, 10-year Series 1 guaranteed fixed rate infrastructure bonds were 73% oversubscribed, with participation predominantly by the pension funds, who subscribed circa 69% of the bonds on offer. The balance subscription came from non-pension asset managers and other institutional investors. I guess with the permission of the NSC and in our privileged capacity as lead issuing house on transaction, we'd also like to express our appreciation to the other transaction parties who worked tirelessly alongside ourselves on this landmark achievement. We would also like to thank the board and management of Transport Services Limited for the privilege to have partnered with the company on this remarkable journey. The guarantor InfraCredit, we appreciate you for your tireless support and promotion of the debt capital markets. Olumide, the NSC, of course, for this platform to recognize and celebrate this achievement. And I guess last but not the least, we also like to thank the investor community for the warm welcome of TSL SPV PLC's debut bond issuance in the Nigerian debt capital markets. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Suramu, for your remarks, and thanks to all our previous speakers for their wonderful remarks. May I invite the doyen of the market, Mr. Ndata, to make his own comments. Thank you. Doyen, you're muted.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lumide, representing the group CEO of the New Stock Exchange, PSC. I congratulate you for what you have done to have given us the demutualization that we have been waiting for. It is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Deji and his co-founder, Wale Fatokun, to our floor. On behalf of chartered stockbrokers of this community, I congratulate you for what you have been doing. You have been doing great things. The parties to this issue, I congratulate you because it is not easy to be the first. You have done a great work in this field. Well, thank you, congratulate you. I will continue to have you when you want to do further issues on the floor, and we will support you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doyen, for your short remarks. My time, we have just about a minute before the market closes. I just wanted to again especially appreciate all the transaction parties to the transaction. We especially recognize the role that the guarantor and InfraCredit play in order to secure the credit rating that TSL bond was able to secure, and which also supported, in my view, the distribution and the participation from the investor community. We look forward to an expanded relationship with TSL. I appreciate the comments and the number of listed companies that I believe TSL currently considers as partners. I think we would encourage you to join your partners on the floor of the stock exchange as a listed company. I think we have about 10 more seconds before I invite the CEO and the chairman of TSL to close the market. So if you just give me 5 seconds. May I now invite the CEO and the chairman to close the market? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. That sound you've heard is the sound that signifies another successful trading day and the close of the market. We would like to thank you for joining us today. We would like to congratulate the chairman, the managing director, executives and board and staff of TSL for a very successful issuance. We wish you well in your future endeavors. This event has now ended. Do continue to keep safe and do feel free to reach out